Alright, today we're going to go on to 7.115 called domain and range of a function. Alright, so first let's talk about a function. A function is something, I should have used a different color for that. That's okay. It's something that maps elements of one set onto another set. And a function is something that you are going to be talking a lot about in math. And a function can look like a lot of different things. But in order for something to be a function, it needs to have a couple requirements. So now I can use my colors. My first requirement is that and a function has inputs and outputs. So let's write has inputs and outputs. And one of the big requirements for a function is that each input only leads to one output. Oh my gosh, input and that's one of the requirements for it to be a function. And one of the ways that we often see a function listed is that a function will be written as ordered pairs. Remember, we have our ordered pairs are like those x and y coordinates. So often they'll be like 1, 4 or 3, 7. And that's an ordered pair. But while we see a function as an ordered pair, it often looks like this instead. Oops, sorry. It'll have a set of ordered pairs like this. And then the entire function is then put in brackets. And you can see here that it's all, think of a function like that function machine, right? So there's a little machine. And inputs go in and outputs. And our input is the first number. And this is our second number. And within the function machine, there's something happens to the number. So here we put in 0 and we got 5. Here we put in 1 and we got 6. Here we put in 2, got 7. And here we put in 3 and got 8. We should be able to figure out what our function rule is here. We can see that it's just a plus 5 rule. Whatever number I put in just gets added 5 to come out. But this is an important viewing of what our little area will look like. And you'll notice here that 0 only goes to 5. 1 only goes to 6, 2 only goes to 7, and 3 only goes to 8. So this is a function, and we can find the rule. Let's take a look at another output from a function. Okay, can take a minute to write it. We have first 2, 4, then 5, 3, then 6, 7, and then 2, 8. Within this I will put the entire thing around brackets. All right, so now I can look in here and I can say, oh, okay, this is not a function. Why? I can see that here 2 leads to 4 and leads to 8. That's not possible for a function. So this, I can't do any of the other work with it because it is incorrect. If I put in a 2, I need to always get the same number in order for it to be a function. Now, these inputs and outputs, we can also call a different word. And this is the word that we're going to be focusing on in this section. Let me find. We have our domain and range. All right, so let's take a look at one of these problems that we had before. Let's take a look at this first one that we used up here, and this one is indeed a function. Okay, we have 0, 5, 1, 6, 2, 7, and 3, 8. Whew. Takes a long time to write these. The domain are simply the list of the inputs written as a set. And our range is very similar. It's our list of outputs. These are little ditto marks. They just mean whatever above. Written as a set. Okay, so if I was going to write the domain and range of this function, it would look like this. My domain, let me make sure I write this right, is all of my inputs listed. So I would have 0, oops, I meant to do that in black, that's okay, 1, 2, and 3. And then I put this bracket marker, because this bracket in math means that it's a set of numbers. My range is all of the outputs. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pretty simple once we kind of figure that out. Okay, let's take an example and go through what you're going to be required to do. You'll need to determine if it's a function and then write the domain and range. Example 1. All right, let me find one that I like. Okay, I like this one. We have, start with a bracket. Oh, let's put it on the page first so you can see it. 8, 12, 9, 22, 4, 7. Oops. Sometimes you see it with a comma in between, sometimes you don't, apparently. And 2, 5. End bracket. Okay, first question. Function? Well, I see 4 different inputs, and no input is leading to 2 different outputs. So as far as I can tell, yes. Domain. Those are all the inputs listed as a set, remember? So I have 8, 9, 4, and 2. Okay? My range. We have all of my outputs listed as a set. 12, 22, 7, and 5. Done. If you feel like you get this section, go ahead and go on. I'm going to do one more if you'd like to see how I do it, and I'll do it nice and fast. Okay, we have 8, comma 9, 3, comma 5, 7, comma 6, and 10, comma 12. And set. First function. Well, 8, 3, 7, 10. No doubling up and no leading to two different spots. So as far as I can tell, yes. Domain. We have 8, 3, 7, 10. Range. Our outputs, we have 9, 5, 6, 12. There we go. Done. Not too bad. Go ahead and good luck.